Moving on now, as Peru welcomes world leaders for an Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation meeting this weekend, hundreds have gathered in the capital Lima to protest against the visit of Barack Obama. RT's Nikki Urin is there for us.
Obama's valedictory tour, his final international trip before he steps down as President of the United States. But it's a tour which has been marred by scenes such as this. People have come out here in the Peruvian capital Lima to tell Obama that they oppose his Trans-Pacific Partnership trade deal, the initiative which Obama had touted enthusiastically as setting the gold standard for trade agreements. But observers say it may already be dead in the water. With President-elect Donald Trump due to take over on January the 20th, he's already said he opposes the deal. Obama's arrival in Peru comes after the European leg of his tour was met with hostility. In Germany, hundreds of thousands of people took to the street in anti-Obama protests to tell the president that they oppose pending agreements with the US and Canada. Meanwhile, in Greece, protests descended into chaos and violence. And if Obama is expecting a warmer welcome here in Peru, that expectation may be short-lived. Riot police have now surrounded the area where the protest is taking place. There's a considerable heavy police presence considering the amount of people actually taking part in the process. They're clearly not hoping for too big of a spectacle as Lima prepares to host the APEC forum this weekend. President Obama was undoubtedly hoping his farewell tour would end on a positive note. But if these scenes over the past few weeks are anything to go by, it could be anything but. This is Nikki Urin for RT, Lima.
Meanwhile, while flying to the APEC summit, journalists on board a plane carrying a Russian delegation were glued to their windows after their flight was intercepted and tracked by Swiss fighter jets upon entering the country's airspace. The pilots of the Russian plane, however, say that the practice of escorting special flights is not unusual. But for some passengers, it was a little too close for comfort.
It was really unexpected. 3 Swiss Air Force jets surrounded us, 2 on both sides, the 3rd from below. Several years ago, I was in a similar situation, also over Switzerland. But this time it was completely different. The planes weren't flying that close. This time it seemed as though the fighter jets wanted to force our plane to land. You know, normally journalists have steady nerves, myself included. But quite frankly, what we saw from the windows was enough to make one have a heart attack. Because one wrong maneuver, either by them or by our pilot, could have led to tragedy. We could clearly see one of the fighter jet's pilots. And when we were recording him, he noticed it and even waved his hand at us. He then moved somewhere to the left, but in a few seconds he was back beneath the wing of our plane. Emotionally, it felt very uncomfortable.